You want to be a warrior. Start at 4 in the morning. That's when the battle begins. Not against the world, but against yourself. The man staring back at you in the mirror, the one haunted by regrets, by dreams, deferred by promises never kept. He's the opponent. And that first swing. It happens the moment your alarm goes off. This isn't about productivity hacks or optimizing your schedule. This is about redemption. This is about the quiet war you fight every morning before the sun rises because somewhere along the way you lost your edge. Maybe you failed a business. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you disappointed your family. Maybe you let yourself down again and again until the man you used to be became a stranger. And now you're here, tired, angry, frustrated, full of what-ifs. But deep down, buried under the chaos, is something most men forget they have: a fighter. There's a reason the greats wake before dawn. Not for the luxury of time, but because it's in those hours that you face yourself honestly. No distractions, no justifications. Just silence, discomfort, and the decision: do I keep losing? Or do I start fighting back? Waking up early is not a routine. It's a revolution. It's the first act of defiance against the man you no longer want to be. When you rise before the world, you're not just claiming time, you're reclaiming control. And for the man who's been to hell and back, there is no greater feeling than knowing he chose the hard way and kept going. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need motivation. You need a reason. And if rock bottom didn't give you one, then let this be it. You still have time to rewrite your story, but only if you get up and fight. So when the alarm rings tomorrow, don't hit snooze, don't run, don't delay. Stand up, step forward, and start the war. You ever wake up feeling exhausted before the day even starts? You slept in, but somehow you're still tired. You hit snooze 3 times, dragged yourself to the kitchen, poured the coffee, but there's a weight you can't shake, a fog in your head, a pit in your gut. And the first thing you say to yourself is, not again. This isn't just physical fatigue, it's the emotional weight of disappointment, of knowing deep down you're not where you should be. You're not who you said you'd become. And every late morning reminds you of that truth you've been avoiding. You're stuck. The pattern is cruel, but familiar. You've tried before, started strong, woke up early for a week, maybe 2. Then came the late night, the skipped alarm, the excuse, just one day off. And just like that, you're back to square one, again. But here's the truth. Nobody tells you waking up tired isn't just about sleep. It's about purpose. It's about control. And when life has knocked you down, when you failed, been laid off, divorced, or just lost all sense of direction, your mornings become a reflection of your inner chaos. You don't wake up early because you don't believe there's something worth waking up for. That's what failure does to a man. It breaks more than his bank account or his relationships. It breaks his belief in himself. And when that belief dies, the man starts sleeping through his life. But it doesn't have to stay that way. There was once a man who had everything: job, wife, pride. Then he lost it all. Depression hit. He began waking at noon, scrolling through social media, drowning in his own regret. Every morning felt heavier than the last, until one day he changed one thing. Not his job, not his habits, just his wake-up time. 4 in the morning, no excuses. The first day it sucked, the second worse. But by the end of the week, something shifted. He wasn't just awake, he was alive. Because he made a decision. If my life's going to be rebuilt, it's going to start before sunrise. That's the power of one simple act: waking up early. It's a declaration, a signal to yourself that you're not done yet, that you're taking control even if everything else feels out of your hands. Look, your problem isn't laziness. It's the shame, the guilt, the disappointment that has chained you to your bed. But chains can be broken. And the first crack in those chains begins when you say, Enough. I'm getting up. The world won't change overnight, but the moment you decide to meet the sunrise on your feet, not your back, that's when your comeback begins. The world doesn't reward comfort, it rewards discipline, and discipline begins before dawn. Before anyone else is awake, before the emails, the noise, the distractions, there is a window of quiet that belongs only to the committed. That window is where transformation begins. When you wake at 4 or 5 in the morning, something subtle happens. You're not just ahead of others, you're ahead of your old self. You're building momentum while everyone else is still asleep in their excuses. There's a reason the military trains warriors to rise early. It's not just tradition, it's strategy. Early rising forces structure into your life. It gives you space to prepare instead of react. In war, in business, and in life, the one who prepares first often wins. Athletes understand this too. Champions don't wake up at noon. Kobe Bryant used to train at 4 in the morning, so that by 8 o'clock in the morning, he'd already beaten the version of himself from yesterday. That's the game. Not against others. You versus you. Waking early disciplines your mind to say, I'm in control. Not your emotions, not your bed, not your past, you. And biologically, the benefits are real. Studies show that early risers are more likely to be proactive, consistent, and mentally sharp. There's less decision fatigue when you own your morning. You're not chasing time, you're commanding it. But here's where it gets powerful, the emotional edge. When you rise early with purpose, your self-worth shifts. You stop being the man who sleeps through life and start becoming the man who wakes up with intention. You're no longer reacting to the day, you're creating it. So how do you start? You don't need to jump straight to 4 in the morning. Here's a simple battle plan. Set a non-negotiable bedtime. If you're serious, you need sleep, but you also need boundaries. No screens. 30 minutes before bed, set an alarm for when to go to sleep. Prepare the night before. Lay out your clothes. Write down what you'll do in the morning. Read, journal, work out, whatever it is. Remove friction. Put your alarm across the room. Force your body to move. Movement is momentum. Commit for 5 days. That's all. 5 days. Give yourself that challenge and prove you can follow through. Track it. Use a calendar app or journal. Seeing your wins reinforces the habit, and most importantly, have a reason. Waking up early without a purpose is just sleep deprivation. But when you connect it to your transformation to becoming the man you promised yourself you'd be, it becomes sacred. Every morning you rise early, you're stacking confidence. You're proving to yourself that discipline is not something you're trying to build, it's already inside you. You're just unlocking it. And that's the key most men miss. You don't need to become someone else. You need to return to the man you were before the failures, before the excuses, before you gave up. And that version of you. He wakes up early, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Discipline isn't born in a breakthrough moment. It's born in the repetition of hard choices done over and over again, especially when nobody's watching. Especially before the sun comes up, because before the sun touches the sky, that's where warriors are made. The toughest battle you'll ever face doesn't happen in the gym, the boardroom, or the streets. It happens in the quiet stillness of your bedroom. The war begins the moment the alarm goes off. No crowd, no opponent, just you. That bed feels like a trap. The pillow whispers sweet lies. It tells you 5 more minutes won't hurt, that you deserve rest, that discipline can wait, but it's lying to you. Every morning you have a choice. Stay comfortable or become powerful. Choose comfort and you stay where you are. Choose power and you rise. This moment defines you. The greatest victories are invisible. Nobody sees you wake before dawn. Nobody claps when you sit in silence, journal your thoughts, sweat through a morning workout, or simply breathe with intention. But those moments, they are the blueprint of transformation. You don't win at 4 a.m. because you feel motivated. You win because you made a promise to yourself. You said you would change. You said enough is enough. And now each early morning is proof that you meant it. Repeat this to yourself. This is the new me. I rise before the world because I'm building something the world has never seen. The battle at 4 a.m. is not about waking early. It is about winning your mind. Every time you get up, you tell your inner weakness, not today. You silence the voice that says you are tired, hopeless, or too far gone. You prove to yourself that you are in control. Eventually, something changes. What once felt like punishment becomes power. You stop needing motivation. You start craving the fight. The resistance becomes familiar, and you grow stronger through it. You realize that the old version of you would have quit. He'd still be in bed blaming life, scrolling his phone, waiting for something to change. But not you. Not anymore. That's what 4 a.m. gives you. Not time, not productivity, but identity. You become the man who does the hard thing no matter how he feels. That man is dangerous. That man is unstoppable. Conclusion: rebuild. Before sunrise. You've been through it. The failures, the setbacks, the nights filled with regret, and the mornings filled with shame. But here's what matters now: you are still here. You are still breathing, and you have a choice. You can rebuild your life, not next month, not after you figure everything out. You can rebuild starting tomorrow morning, before sunrise. When the world is quiet and your demons are loud, that is your time, your proving ground. Every man who ever turned his life around started with one simple decision. He got up. That was it. No breakthrough, no miracle. Just a decision to rise when it was easier to stay down. This is your moment. You are not too late. You are not too broken. And you are not out of time. You are one early morning away from becoming a man you can be proud of. So tonight, go to bed with a purpose. And when the alarm rings, do not wait. Do not hesitate. Rise. Not because you feel ready, but because the warrior inside you has waited long enough. And when you stand in the darkness before dawn, remember this. You are not just waking up. You are rising from the ashes, and this time, you don't stop. Final mantra. Don't rebuild your life tomorrow. Rebuild it today before sunrise. If you've come this far, reading every word, battling every excuse in your mind, then you already know the truth. You're not done. Deep inside, beneath the weight of regret, beneath the layers of lost time and missed chances, there is still a fire. Maybe small, maybe weak, but it's there. And it only needs one thing to grow action. The world may have counted you out. Hell, you might have counted yourself out. But that was before. Before this moment, before you were reminded that a man's strength is not in how far he's fallen, but in how many times he chooses to rise. That's what this is about. Rising. Not once, not twice, but every single morning. Whether you feel like it or not, whether you're inspired or broken, whether you believe in yourself yet or not, because belief comes after action. And the more you act, the more you become the man you once only dreamed of being. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need their validation. And you definitely don't need their approval. You need one thing, a standard. And that standard begins with your mornings. You rise early not to impress. You rise early to reclaim what was stolen, your time, your energy, your self-worth. There will be days you want to stay down. Days when everything inside you says, what's the point? But that's when it matters most, because that's when most people quit. That's when average men give in. But you are not average. You are rebuilding, not for applause, but for legacy. For the man you see in the mirror, for the man your children will follow, for the warrior who refuses to die in the dark. So tomorrow and the day after and every day that follows, make the decision that separates boys from men and warriors from the forgotten. Get up before the sun, before the noise, before doubt wakes up and starts talking. Get up, because that man you're trying to become, he's already inside you. He's just waiting for you to show up. Final declaration. You're not done. You've barely begun. So rise and rise again until nothing can hold you down.